Hi guys, today we'll be doing a range test with the Hubsan Zino Mini SE. So you can see from my meter here, we have a level 3 wind blowing at us with a speed of 16 kilometers. So from my app here it's showing 23. So the drone can do about 50 over kilometers, so should be enough to come back. And I'll just have a memory of this taken just in case I loses my drone. So you can also have a look at the trees here as the wind is blowing at it. Okay, so let's get the drone up in the air. So if you haven't already watched some of my videos on the range tests I've done on the similar path with the DJI Mini, Hubsan Zino Mini Pro, and Zino 2 Plus, and even the DJI Mini, the older one. So the furthest is actually the Zino 2 Plus, which can do about 6 over kilometers. So do check out my video on that. And so today we'll see how far this drone can go, but maybe we'll not push it too far because of the heavy wind blowing at us when we are coming back. So now we are going with the wind, so we will not use up a lot of battery, and also we need to turn on the anti-wind mode. So this mode is actually very helpful if you are fighting against the wind, but you will sacrifice your stability of the gimbal. So I've also done a similar test on the gimbal, but I've not released the footage yet. Let me get this done, and I'll release it in a later stage as recommended by one of my subscribers. So you can see we are traveling at the height of 70 over meter, so I'll go to maximum of 120 and I'll stop there. And because most of all my tests I'm doing it at 120 meter, and see how far it can go. So do enjoy the remaining of footage. I'll see you at the end of the range where we have to turn back. So do enjoy. 4 kilometers it is, and this one on paper it shows you can go to 6 kilometer, but due to weather condition, we better not push our luck this time. So as I'm returning to home, you can see that my speed here is not moving up. So definitely there's a lot of wind coming against us. So even at the RTH, I'm only getting about 3 meter per second. That is very slow. So at this speed, I don't think we can safely return. So let me I have to push it to sport mode and see how it handles. And also I'm a bit panic because it's seeing that this kind of speed you can't return back safely. So I switch to sport mode and I'll try push it again, but it is not really helpful. Yeah, it gained a little more speed, but it's still too slow to get back. So you can see that my battery is dropping pretty quick. Just now we are turning back at 75%. Now it's 69. So even now at sport mode, it's not even moving. And I'm not able to lower the altitude too much because there's a electricity tower right in front of us. We don't want to hit that, and we need to figure out a way to just avoid it by in fact, if we lower the altitude, probably we can go much faster. Just checking lowering the altitude for my RTH. So you don't, so if you encounter situation like this, yeah, you might need to lower down your altitude and just let RTH try to push further. And I'm actually trying to lower my drone a bit more to see if so if you lower your drone, make sure you also lower your RTH height. So this one have to go hand in hand. If not, if you go into RTH again, it will climb, so you'll be wasting a lot of batteries. So at this stage, I'm a bit kind of not sure what to do because I know that I'm in trouble. So yeah, by pushing it forward manually, it's not very helpful, and keep having this lag, especially if I try to lower it too much. So now I'll try to navigate around this electricity pole, and we'll get back to this later on. So now I'm at 60% battery, and the drone is barely moving at all. So at 5 meter per sec or 4.9, it is actually not moving. So I'm still 3.5 kilometers away. So after I've navigated around the electricity pole and I managed to go past it safely, and I still have 47% battery left. So looking down at the FPV footage, you can see how heavy the wind is blowing at the crop down there. So you can see, because when I'm flying with the FPV, because this one is having a much lower resolution as compared to the Zino Mini Pro, which has a 1080p. I think 1080p, let me check the spec again. Okay, so both Hubsan Zino Mini Pro and the Mini SE, sorry, has 1080p 30 frames on the FPV feed. So from here, from the FPV feed, I couldn't really notice, because actually I'm a bit too what you call this, because you are so busy thinking of ways to fly this drone back, and looking at all the alternatives on how to fly it back safely. So yeah, by looking back on this footage, you can see how strong the wind is blowing at us. So we are actually not really moving. So what we're gonna do now is let me look at the maps on my phone. So it will be good to have a second phone with you, because your main phone will be using for FPV, and you have another phone just for checking on maps or whatever when you are flying out. So what I did is I check on the maps, and I notice my alternate home point is not too far away. So with about 39%, probably we can get there. And I'll also see if I could land this anywhere near here. But here there's no road, so it'll be very difficult to retrieve the drone later on. So since I still have some batteries left, so let's try to land this thing somewhere where I could find it later. And yeah, you can see how strong the wind goes, blowing on the paddy field. Okay, so if you're new to doing range tests, do bear in mind and take this video as an educational video, so that if you encounter something similar like this, you can just navigate away and still get your drone back. So yeah, we are surely is a bumpy ride. Okay, so I'm losing connection again, because actually I'm quite low now at 65 meter. So once I regain my FPV signal, I will try to move it to the alternate home point. So what's cool about this drone is that you can make an alternate home point by long pressing on the map on wherever you want to have your second home point. So yeah, let's do it now. And okay, click on the map here, because you can only estimate how you want to fly it to your alternate home point. So right before I reach the alternate home point, I will cancel RTH. I'll fly close to where I would like to land, and then I'll select that as the another alternate home point. So that way I'll not fly to somewhere where I have no idea where my drone will end up. So it'll be much how to say, just do this step, and you can get back your drone, and hopefully in good shape. So moving to the side here, I'm gaining a bit speed now, because now the wind is actually blowing from left to right, so we can still fly. Instead of going against us, it's pretty difficult in doing that. And you can see that my battery is only like 26% left, so I should have sufficient to get to somewhere where I could land this drone safely. So here I spotted this place with kind of like a garden or something on a remote village. So yeah, let's land here, and I'll go to this village and retrieve my drone later on. And yeah, we are closing in. So once we are close to where we want to land, we cancel the RTH and fly over to the place that I would like to land. In this case, sorry, I would like to land it maybe somewhere here in this piece of land, where I think it will be easier for me to reach later on. And also just checking if there's any people around, just so not to land on people and get into more trouble. So at 20%, let's move it ahead a bit. At this point, I'm trying to see if there's any people around. So no people around, I can go right over. So one thing with the Zino is that based on my experience, if you go lower than 10%, sometimes it will dive down. So better to go to press on RTH so that it can uses the computer in their programming to how to say, to land it, to use up every juice of it. So if you are on manual, you're not in RTH mode, I think it will drop down. So it's quite scary because I experienced that once. So now I've clicked on this area as the alternate home point, and I'm going down. And okay, my aircraft disconnect again, so it will automatically go up again. So I click on here as the alternate home point, so it should land here if once I click yes. So soon I will lose FPV, which is now right now, and I have no idea where my drone is looking at, so hopefully it doesn't hit any tree. And yeah, lucky enough we don't hit any tree while it is descending. And some kids in this village found my drone, and I thanked them by letting them fly this drone later on, just to hover around the place. As how to say, you just have to thank them for not destroying your drone. So here I have the drone, and not even a scratch. Thank God for that. And yeah, so you can see my flight record here, and if you have any question, do post in the comment section. And thank you for watching this video. Do stay tuned for my future videos by subscribing to my channel. And I hope the drone police don't be too harsh on me. I might not do this kind of test again in this very windy weather. So thank you, and goodbye.